Hello, it's me again, Sigma. I am your kind and benevolent DM here on Oblivion, a Star Wars story. I'm going to give you guys the rundown and catch you up on what's happened so far in the campaign. But first, I want to remind you that the best way to keep up with this campaign, as well as the sister campaign, Eclipse, a Star Wars story, is to subscribe to the channel and hit the little notification bell. Alright, that's enough of the shameless self-promotion, and let's get down to the briefing. Previously on Oblivion, a Star Wars story. Ophelia and Dobrax do some spying through the Force. Ophelia spies on the Imperial governess, Elise Van Trevor, but while she's spying, an ISB officer known as the Torturer enters the room. Dobrax unknowingly translates the alien language spoken by the ISB officer, and the two rebels become aware that something is afoot in the capital. Narsor, Aura, B1, and Jakk all head to liberate the Raven with the help of their contact, Laswell Falkrow. Jakk and B1 are able to sneak through the front gate with Laswell. Aura makes it to the Raven, and now Narsor is fixing to put the hurt on the Empire. What will happen in this episode of Oblivion, a Star Wars story? There's only one way to find out. Alright, welcome back
Whack.
to Whack indeed. Things about to be out of whack. Welcome back to Oblivion, a Star Wars story, episode 6, I believe. I am joined tonight by B1, Dobrax, Jakk, Narsor, and Ophelia. Sadly, Oro was not able to attend, and as we went over last session, Jolmore is unfortunately taking a break. Hopefully he'll rejoin at some point. But yeah, let's get down to business. Jakk, we
To
need
defeat the Huns?
No, we are not defeating the Huns. We're defeating
to defeat the imps. Come
to
on,
defeat
get with the
the
times,
imps.
B1.
Jakk, I need you to roll plus weird for Destiny's
no.
Plaything.
Weird?
Now, yep, plus weird. Now, if you are
Alright.
unfamiliar with this move or this system, the Chosen, which is Jack's chosen class, is a special class that is very connected to the weird side of Monster of the Week. He has a special move that he must make at the beginning of each mystery, and we've been terrible about doing it recently. We're getting to it today, though. The move is called Destiny's Plaything. At the beginning of each mystery, roll plus weird to see what is revealed about your immediate future. On a 10 plus, the keeper will reveal a useful detail about the coming mystery. On a 7 to 9, you get a vague hint about it. And on a miss, something bad is going to happen to you. You got a 7 to 9 or 9. You got a 9. So on 7 to 9, you get a vague hint about it. Okay, Jakk, you are where do you want to be when you have this vision? Do you want to say that this is kind of a flashback scene where this is right before you guys are getting ready to go in the gate? You have this is back at base. Where are you having this vision?
Back at base, probably.
Okay. You have a vision as you're walking out to the shuttle to go and meet Laswell, and you see something strange. It kind of your vision fogs over, and then it crystallizes, and you see that you are now standing in the middle of a dusk, um, moonlit field. There are buildings surrounding you as well as part of a wall. One section is missing. But it's dark out. The lights have all been cut in the place that you are in, and only auxiliary lighting is keeping the interior of different buildings lit. You see several figures, all on speeders, approaching you from the large gap in the wall, and you see laser blasts flying past you from those figures coming at you. And you see one, you turn around and you see stormtroopers, you see Narsor and Aura and B1, and then you turn back to face the oncoming people, and a laser blast narrowly misses your head, and you are, with that flash of red, you're back in the present, loading onto the shuttle. You kind of shake yourself and move forward. Has Jakk had these visions of the future before, or no?
The vague visions of like what's to come. Yeah, he's
Yes.
had a few of those. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Flashback to the present. Let's talk about. Let's talk about Narsor. Narsor, you're in a room.
I'm in a room for a storm bucketheads, right?
Uh, yeah. You enter that room. You kind of squeeze through the doorway, and you turn, and it's this very long room. Actually, it's more square in shape than anything else, but it's filled with tables and chairs, and spaced out sporadically through the room are stormtroopers. Some of them are in fatigues. A couple of them are in still in their plates. But yeah, as you enter, all of them turn and see you, and they're just standing there having this "what the hell" moment. And yeah, what do you do?
I feel like the the few closest, would probably be getting hit with Narsor's vibes of hatred and anger, as Narsor's face lights up like a child on Christmas as he pulls the big sword off his back and he just rushes one.
Okay.
One of the more specifically, actually the closest.
Okay,
Narsor doesn't have
I'm gonna
any
need
chance.
you to roll to kick some ass. You're using your vibroblade, right?
Yes, correct. My big sword. My big vibro blade. Do I
With
get my
something.
running bonus since I'm rushing him?
No, he's right next to you.
No. Okay. So I basically just bring this vibro blade off my back and down on him. Again?
No. For those of
No?
you listening at home, I just had him roll 5 times. Let me read to you these numbers. 12, 12, 11, 11, 12. I think I'm gonna hang up my DM hat from now on.
You be kicking some ass though.
Just to be clear, my vibro blade does 3 harm. It has the hand property and it has the messy property.
So not only is he whack, he's also splat.
Yes, Narsor also knows the word splat. It's currently his favorite word, after whack. As I'm assuming, more or less, as this all happens, he unleashes that guttural bellow of whack.
Yeah, I think the best way to cue that is that guttural bellow that came at the end of last episode is the last thing anybody outside heard before the door shut behind you as you realized that the room was full of Imperials. So here's what happens. Narsor, you enter this room after uttering your battle cry of whack, and you see targets. You don't hear anything. You see their mouths moving, and then you go. In a sweeping motion, you draw your sword off of your back and slice it clean through the head of the nearest Imperial, severing his head from his body, leveling the sword, and in a blur of motion, sliding, it looks like, across the room and impaling another one. From there, you lift your sword up, and in a motion that is similar to flinging things off of a shish kebab, you catapult this Imperial across the room off of your sword and crashing into another Imperial, killing them both as they make impact with the cold, hard ground. You then hop from table to table, stepping on a couple of Imperials on your way to a door that's on the opposite side of the room, killing them as you quite literally drop a load of whale weight onto them, finishing your rampage with a spinning strike, slicing from shoulder to hip of the last Imperial standing in the room. You turn back, you look at the scene of carnage, and then you open the next door to the sleeping quarters. From outside, screams can be heard. The base goes on red alert, and troopers start running in a panicked frenzy. B1 and Jakk, you guys are sitting in the warehouse as the alarm starts to go off. Laswell and the Imperial worker that she was talking to both look around in a confused and worried state. What do the two of you do?
I'm gonna look to Jakk for guidance in this situation.
I'm going to give no guidance. I'm gonna just put my head down and hope for the best.
I need you to roll plus cool, Mr. Jackanuki.
Oh no.
Should be
yes.
one as well.
No, because you're kind of just I don't know. Do you think you would need to roll for plus cool?
Probably not in this scenario.
8. Okay. On a 7 to 9. Going to give you a worse outcome. Hard choice or price to pay. Okay. I'm going to say that something worse happens because you pointed it out, Jakk. There's a lot of stuff in here, Jakk.
Huh?
A lot of loose bits and trinkets and scraps and
Jakk
things
wants all
that
of them. Jakk wants all of them. He craves them.
He just starts loading them into B1's backpack.
Yes. So, Jakk, you are you're not hypnotized, but you are put in a state as you realize you are surrounded by stuff. B1, are you gonna do anything to try and get him back on task, or are you gonna help him?
I'm gonna help him because B1's been in this situation. It's better just get rid of what's causing it and just help him.
Okay.
Good choice.
All right.
I see how our party is.
Oh yeah, I think
Man, I gotta kick some shiny things.
Okay, so as alarms start going off, stormtroopers start running around, and a couple of stormtroopers enter the room to secure it. They see a battle droid, they see a Jawa, they see somebody they don't know, and they see an Imperial worker. They shout for the Imperial worker to get clear, and they level their blasters at both of you. We're gonna have Laswell roll plus tough to kick some ass, and she only has a 0. So we'll see how this goes. An 8. Okay, so she draws her blaster and fires, killing one of the stormtroopers. But the other stormtrooper blasts her in the shoulder, and she takes a few steps back, and she kind of swings herself over the hood of the speeder by rolling across it and dropping to the ground on the other side, taking 2 harm. Narsor, you are standing in. We're not gonna. At this point, you have a +3, and I think it would be. I think it would be cool to talk about how you wiped out everyone in the room, but I think it would also take a lot of time. So I think what we'll do instead is we'll talk about how you're feeling. So we're gonna say that you took 1 damage for right now. You took 1
Which-
damage in the course of the fight, so take 1 harm.
That gets knocked down to 0 because of my ability.
What is that?
Immortal. I do not age or sicken, and I take -1 harm from all sources.
Okay, this is ignoring all buffs.
Okay.
So, or well, I was gonna deal you 2, but I didn't want it to be too much. So I guess now that you're immortal, then yeah, we'll say 2 harm. So you took 1 harm. You are standing there and you feel tired. You feel almost exhausted, and you feel this presence, this very chaotic, very evil, very dark presence in the room with you. What do you do?
Narsor doesn't quite understand presence, so he grips back the sword and he whips around to look. He's trying to figure out where it is. He can't quite can't understand quite what's going on now. He understands that he just killed many bucketheads. What he thinks is that there might be more bucketheads, more people who killed his family here coming to kill him. So he's preparing himself to unleash more of this anger he has, and he holds towards them to kill more.
Why are you so angry?
Narsor, he's looking confused, but he's still very hateful, and angry. He just says, "Bucketheads, kill family. Narsor, kill all bucketheads."
I see. So, what do you intend to do after you kill all of these bucketheads?
Narsor stops for a minute, eyeing the door, holding his sword, and he's forced to use his 3 brain cells, and he's trying to think, and he goes, "Go home and protect Darvik from other threats like bucketheads. No one will take last of family."
Good. That is something that I like to hear.
And the presence is gone.
Narsor is looking around the room hastily, either looking for another door to kill more buckets or bucketheads, or to figure out where that presence was.
You look around and there's nobody. There's no way of telling where it was coming from, and you have no other option but to head out onto the plain that is out in front of the barracks. So unless you're gonna do
Narsor.
any investigating in here, are you going to exit the building?
Narsor's too dumb to know how to investigate, so he's just gonna pick up the largest chess piece he can find and try and put it on and have it be his display of power over the bucketheads.
I think you pick up a chest piece and you put it on your shoulder and it
Yeah,
just barely
it would be the
fits.
closest
He
he
picks
has
up another one to match, you know.
Okay, sure.
Pauldrons.
Yeah, he's now got pauldrons. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you saw a whale guy bearing down on you with 2 stormtrooper chess pieces as pauldrons, I'd be a
If you
little
could
scared.
Shit yourself. Just pure fear would just emanate from you.
Are you guys ready to listen to somebody freak out?
Is it me?
Dobrax! 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 Can you hear us, Dobrax?
I can hear you. Again.
Why did you not go with Narsor? He needs you.
It's not like you told me, is it?
We expected a little bit more autonomy from you, Dobrax. We are not your puppet master. You have free thought. So why did you not go with Narsor?
I already fucked up bad enough earlier. I don't need to put other people in danger again.
Dobrax, you are the one that keep people out of danger. You have the potential to save Narsor. He is preparing to tread a path that will take him down, 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 down. And that is not something that any of us want. He is being visited by an entity. An entity that will taunt him and lead him, and only you have the power to stop it. You can do this. No matter how terrified you are, no matter how far you may wish to run, you must stand your ground, for that is when your power will become apparent. How do you think you understood? How do you think you could listen in? You have power.
And you feel your body begin to tingle, just like you did when you were in the presence of Ophelia, and you hear the conversation that Narsor has with this evil entity, and then you proceed to hear the voices of stormtroopers calling out, and then you proceed to hear another voice telling his men to hop aboard their speeders and ride because it was about to go down. And we will jump back to we will jump to Ophelia. Ophelia, do you want to spy in on the crew, or do you want to take another run of the governess? Yes, and you don't hear anything. You just hear him talking to air.
Right. So that she knows what that means. She doesn't know who he's talking to, but she knows what that means. And so as he snaps back, she is gonna stand up and sort of come up to him and ask, what's going on? What did you?
Dobrax just kind of shakily raises his head, really uneasy. Like you can almost feel his paranoia and fear just kind of emanating off him. He looks at her, his eyes like really swelled up, freaking out, and he goes, "They won't shut up. They won't let me sleep. They won't go away."
I know. What did they say?
Narsor, he needs me.
Let's go. And that's it. Like she doesn't need any more convincing.
All right. Then you guys head out. Alphalis sees you guys leaving. He's like, you guys headed somewhere?
The crew is
He nods and says, He looks around the base, and he's the only one there. Everybody else is out. And he says, somebody's got to be here to monitor comms. Joris is out picking up new people. Steel Team is out doing a supply run. And Toons is God knows where. You guys are on your own. There's a speeder bike out back for emergency uses, and your guys took the shuttle, so you guys will probably have to ride in.
Dobrax kind of rubs his eyes, just trying to get back to reality, and he just has a slight smile because, speeder bikes, they're pretty bloody awesome.
Good.
All right.
Ophelia's looking at Dobrax, just hoping to God or the maker, whatever, that he knows how to operate one of those, because Ophelia probably has seen maybe 3 in her entire life.
Yeah, and you thought you were sheltered, Dobrax. Anyways, all right. You guys mount up and you head out. And as you speed towards the compound, you are. Let's see, Ophelia and Dobrax. I need you guys to roll plus sharp, please. 10. Okay, so Ophelia is, we'll say that Dobrax is busy driving. Ophelia notices the other speeder bikes pull alongside you as you are speeding towards the compound, and they wave at you and ask you to pull over. And these are not Imperial. They are different races, all wearing bandanas to cover their face, with goggles and helmets. And you guys pull over and you begin to have a conversation with them. And you realize through short order that you guys are all going to the same place. Dobrax, you recognize the voice of their leader, a tallish man who speaks to you two for the group, and you all decide that maybe you should just go together, and that would be the best way to go about things. So let's bounce back to B1 and Jakk. B1, you've run out of room in your backpack at this point. Jakk is trying to take all of the things, and
are those stormtroopers that are raising guns at us? Are they still there?
yes, there is
We
one
don't have
that
to
is.
worry about them. You just gotta
What?
help me, okay?
Is that a giant? Well, I guess I'm a droid. Doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna. I mean, I'm out of room, so I'm just gonna start blasting.
All right, Danny DeVito, here we go. Go ahead and roll to kick some ass.
Got it blasting.
That's pretty cool.
Go ahead and mark experience. Make sure you mark experience too, Dobrax, if you didn't. Let's see, you fire away and you miss, and the trooper turns towards you and levels his blaster, and he shoots you in the shoulder for 2 harm.
How does armor work, real quick? Because I took a.
It negates physical harm. Like, I'll say that you take harm ignoring armor. So if I deal harm to you, negate it with whatever armor you have.
Okay, because I took a play that makes it so I just had permanently 2 armor.
Nice. All right, cool. You are you're blasted in the shoulder and you fall down from the impact, but you are not damaged. Jakk, what do you do? Actually, Jakk, I need you to roll plus cool to see if you can like pull yourself away from your shinies.
Do I want to?
That's a good question. Do you even want to?
I mean, B1 seems like he's got this. He doesn't need me. I'll try.
I need you. Okay, roll. I need you to roll plus weird for me.
Okay, so am I not rolling cool? Am I rolling weird now?
You're rolling weird.
Okay, let's see this.
Okay, here's what happens. You are sifting through junk, and you inherently, without thinking about it, just pure drive of just shinies, you see something that would look awesome on your lightsaber, but it's underneath this big thing. So, of course, pure drive, you use the force to pick up the big thing and toss it back over your shoulder. You hear a cry of, oh no, and a cry of pain as squash, the thing lands on the stormtrooper. You turn around and look back, and you see the stormtrooper dead underneath the big thing. You shrug, and then you go back to getting your shinies. Laswell is just sitting there dumbfounded, like, what? You did what? I'm not getting paid enough for this. And she stands up and she books it for the other building, and she enters a code into the keypad next to the door. It slides open and she enters. Jakk and B1, are you guys going to do anything else while she enters? Are you going to follow her? What are you going to do?
Is Jakk still busy with shinies?
I don't know.
Heck yes, I am.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm gonna try and help Jakk.
Peel away from the shinies or collect more of the shinies?
I'm gonna grab a handful of interesting looking shinies. I'm gonna try and get him to follow.
Are you doing the whole like breadcrumb trail? Like, here, follow the
Yeah,
shinies.
I'll do that. I like
follow
that.
the shinies. Follow the shinies.
That's exactly what's going on here.
Jakk.
Who's a good Java? Follow the shinies.
Jakk is gonna kind of like know what's going on, but he doesn't care, and he's gonna be like yelling in Jawaese as he picks up all of these parts that B1 is laying down.
Really quick, Aura, you made it onto the ramp. Just bringing you up to speed. Narsor killed everybody in the barracks, which was the triangle building. He kind of went on a rampage. Jakk used the force to squish a stormtrooper. Laswell took some damage while trying to cover for the two of them. Jakk is distracted with shinies. Laswell is currently in the evidence room, and you are in the Raven. So, what are you going to do to try and get the Raven out of the hangar, if anything?
I'm gonna see if it still flies, first of all.
You enter the appropriate codes. You flip all of the switches, and you press all of the buttons, and the engine hums and then roars to life, and you feel as though part of yourself that was missing, you're now whole again, back in your bird. You prep for takeoff. You try to lift off, and you don't move. There are docking clamps.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How much attention? How much attention did that mission bring?
Let me put it to you this way. Everyone's running for the barracks, and they all see the giant murder whale that just came out of the barracks. They're not paying a whole lot of attention to you, so your distraction worked. You're fine.
So can I go out and try to remove the
Yes, roll plus cool to act under pressure. 7. Price to pay. You exit the Raven and you start working on the docking clamps, but a trooper runs through the hangar and stops and sees you, and he levels a blaster at you and prepares to take a shot. What do you do?
I will take out my blaster and I will fire back.
Okay, go ahead and roll plus tough to kick some ass. B1, I'm also going to need you to roll plus charm to see if you actually get Jakk to follow the shinies. On a 7 to 9, you trade. So on that 7...
3 7s in a row.
Yeah, so you guys are going to trade harm. You kill the stormtrooper, but in return, he lands a shot on you and deals 2 blaster damage. So go ahead and take 2 harm. B1 for another hunter. They mark experience if they do what you ask. Okay, if you're charming another hunter on a 7 to 9, Jakk, you can roll experience, or you can mark experience if you do what B1 asks, or you can go ahead and keep doing your thing. So in this case, he is asking you to follow him. Yeah. So, Jakk, are you going to follow B1 or no?
This is a tough decision.
It's the shinies.
Man, all the shinies? Yeah, I'll I'll follow him.
All right, then go ahead and mark experience. 1 experience.
All right.
So,
Is it just him or is B1 mark
just him.
experience?
If
Okay.
you had gotten a 10 plus, you would have gotten the experience.
All right.
So, are you following Laswell, or are you trying to just get away from the building?
I'll follow Laswell. I promise. We promised to help.
Okay,
Specifically, I did.
so you guys follow her in, and you see her messing around with a very tall case that is, it's about, think of an extra tall refrigerator, and it's about that size. You watch as she enters a code into the small keypad on the side of this giant box, and the door hisses and it opens up like a giant metal coffin, and out steps something that you, B1, you like what you see.
Oh.
Jakk, you also like what you see, but you are both slightly intimidated because out of that box steps an IG unit.
Oh
Look at what
crap!
this looks like.
It's the nanny droid from The Mandalorian.
Oh.
Yeah,
Except it's
that
not
thing.
so caring.
Oh.
It's not so caring right now. He looks at the IG unit, rotates its eyes, its optical units, to look at Laswell, and it says,
What are your orders, boss?
and she says, eliminate all Imperials on site. And he gives a little nod and bow, and he marches out the side door.
As he passes, I'm gonna like try and wave hello, but he just ignores me.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. So, you hear the sound of blaster fire erupt as he walks out the door, and you guys peer out a window, and you see dozens of stormtroopers coming in through the front gate, and you guys are now locked in this. Not locked, but you guys are now trapped in this this space. What do you do to get out? Are you guys gonna just try and sneak out the side door again because it doesn't look like they're paying much attention to you? Like, what do you do?
I'm gonna see if we can see where Narsor is.
You can see him. He is the big whale man. He is standing outside of the building that is directly across the street from you, and the stormtroopers are surrounding him, leveling their blasters at him.
I'm gonna look at Jakk. Do we save him?
Yeah, we're gonna try to help.
Okay.
Isn't
Let's
isn't he all
bounce.
covered in blood?
Yes. Aura, you guys are kind of in a pickle now. Aura, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep working on the clamps, or are you going to look to your party? Because you notice that even though you dealt with the stormtrooper, you notice a lot of stormtroopers gathering around the hulking figure of Narsor. So are you going to keep working on the ship, or are you going to kind of help them?
I guess the ship can wait. I'm gonna go help Narsor.
Okay. Then I think what we'll do is everybody roll to kick some ass. Everybody roll plus tough. Dobrax and Ophelia included. Here's what happens. Let's paint a word picture. Stormtroopers start entering the compound by the dozens, and fairly shortly after you emerge from the barracks, Narsor, covered in blood, wearing your stormtrooper chest piece pauldrons, holding your vibro blade by your side, you are surrounded by a good 30 stormtroopers. Behind them emerges the rest of your team that came with you. Aura comes from the hangar, blasting at the stormtroopers from the workshop / repair shop comes B1 and Jakk. B1 brandishing his blaster and Jakk his lightsaber. You feel this surge of energy come from within you, and you hear the voice inside your head, Narsor. You hear that same voice talking to you, saying,
Use your hate. Use that power. Unleash it upon your enemies.
But then you hear another voice. You hear the voice of Dobrax. And you hear him talking to you. You hear him telling you that it's okay. It's going to be okay. And Jakk, you look out beyond the wall and you see a barrage of laser fire come in through the open end of the base as speeder bikes come into view and begin assaulting the stormtroopers, and the battle is on. Jakk, you're deflecting blaster bolts. B1 and yourself actually have to kind of retreat back towards Aura as she covers you from the incoming blaster fire from the stormtroopers. Narsor, you're just hacking and slashing with your vibroblade, and these bikes pull in and start making circles around the stormtroopers. Riders blasting them with pistols and cannons on the speeder bikes, and as the battle draws to a close in your favor with these newfound allies, these speeder bikes all skid to a stop between you and the opening of the compound. The ground is littered with stormtroopers. Jakk, you're holding your defensive stance with your lightsaber, and B1 is behind you, and Aura, you're kind of off to the side between the hangar and the workshop, firing. You were firing from that alley, the cover of the alley. Narsor, you're standing in a pool of stormtrooper blood right now, and Dobrax and Ophelia dismount from one of the speeder bikes and come towards you guys. And they dismount and they come towards you guys. Dobrax, you are relieved to find Narsor is okay, and Ophelia, you are relieved to see Aura is also intact. But then a man steps up onto the back of a rather large speeder bike, and he says, in a very loud, booming, boisterous voice, "That was a lot of fun. I cannot say that I have not had any kind of fun like that in a long, long time." And he looks towards the Raven that is still humming in the hangar, and then he looks towards Jakk with his lightsaber still drawn, and he says, "Ah, this reminds me of the good old days. Now, which one of you is origami? Because you and Hondo, we have some business." Okay, origami. It was a dark and gritty Thursday afternoon, apparently, and you took a job in the slums of Coruscant to deliver Imperial guns to a buyer on the planet of Janundal. The job was simple, but the risk was significantly higher because you were working with a seller named Dev Brulowski. You had 4 crates of Imperial weapons with you. Could you give me a little bit? I'm more interested, because we have talked about this, I'm more interested to know how Aura came to the job. We'll talk about what happened on the job very briefly, and then we'll kind of connect the dots between what happened and then where we are now. And then we'll do a little bit of advanced play. I'll say, or play in advance, I should say. So where were you meeting this Dev Brolowski guy? Which, by the way, I want to know how long it took you to make that name.
Yeah, there was no thought into that. It was just it was that simple.
Okay.
I think I was talking to someone and they had said bro just in their sentence, and so that's how I thought of it. It was just Brolowski.
Where are you meeting Mr. Brolowski? Are you meeting him in a seedy bar? Are you meeting him out on the landing pad where your ship, the Raven, is? Where are you meeting him to hash out the final details of this deal?
It is going to be a little bit away from the main city, because it is a smuggling job. It can't. He doesn't want me to be seen in the middle of people. So it's on a little port just outside of the city.
Okay.
Landing dock outside of the city that he owns.
Okie dokie. So he approaches you and he says, "Look, are you ready to do this or what? Because you gotta go. The patrol's gonna be by here soon, and if you're not gone, then you're gonna be in deep. You know what I'm saying?"
Yeah, I know. Just give me the crates and I'll be on my way.
He gestures to a hover cart that is behind him being pushed by one of his lackeys, and he says, "This one's yours." And it seems like it's looking like this might be our last job together. I know you're extremely sorry to see me go, but I think this place might be going under new management if I can't pick up my luck in Pizak. And he scratches the back of his head and he waves you off and says, "Don't get caught, otherwise you'll catch shit for it, and you know it."
Yeah, you know me, Brolowski.
So the thug helps you load up the crates, and you fly out. You make it off-world safely and make the jump to light speed, and you jump out in the Janundal system, and you are headed for the city of Jacksakal for a drop-off, as briefed by Mr. Dev, and you are hailed by a ship you can't see. Do you acknowledge the hail or no?
Well, yeah, I kind of don't want to die in the middle of this trip, so I'm gonna acknowledge this ship.
Alrighty. Do you have a designation for your ship other than just the Raven? Because I know it's a nickname for your lovely vessel, but like
the model or whatever.
Yeah.
Let me go back to that photo stole and see if it has a model on it. Maybe I could just copy that. No, nothing there. Give me something. I don't know. Here, let's see.
I think I got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cargo class shuttle. Designation 9572. You have entered restricted Imperial airspace. State your name and your business here in Janundal.
Okay. I'm assuming that my radio is also on.
Yes.
Okay. So I sort of shrug and say, "My name is Origami, and I am here for a delivery."
All right. On a what delivery? Did you say on a freight delivery?
On a food delivery.
Food delivery.
Yeah, I'm bringing some fruits from
Okay.
another planet.
I'm gonna need you to roll plus cool. Oh, wait,
I'm
no,
so good
plus
at this.
either cool or charm. What do you think? Because
Hold on,
cool,
let me-
you're acting under pressure. Charm, I'll let you roll whatever your better status is.
Group charm.
Okay, roll plus charm.
It'd be good. 8. I got an 8.
Good job. Only
I'm so good at talking my way into places.
Yep. I see. Well, if you provide some form of voucher or passport or something, some kind of documentation that you are who you say you are and you are indeed carrying the goods you claim to be carrying, then you may proceed. Otherwise, prepare to be boarded.
Can I show some identification once I've landed?
You should be able to just transmit your identification. If you only possess physical copies, then that would imply that you do not have identification.
No. I do have my identification. It's here somewhere. Whoop, look at that. Must have left it in my other pocket.
I must have left it in my other pair of pants.
How about you call the delivery people and they can vouch for me?
I see. And what delivery service is that?
It's a small food service place.
I'm flat out assuming at this point that Aura is like, okay, gotta go, and she's prepping all the engines and everything to just book it.
Yeah, she's pressing a couple buttons while she's trying to figure out what to say. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a small what do you call it? Like a supply port or something? Just OOC really quickly. What do you call those like shipment places that give food that you deliver places? Like some no, it's not like a
dang, humanitarian? No.
Sure, we can call it that. We can say that the food is for humanitarian services. If you go ahead and contact the owner of the organization, his name is Dev Berlowski. He will tell you that the goods I'm supplying is for a humanitarian service.
There is a silence.
You know, I'm really just pressing all the buttons and getting my engines ready to just zoom out of there.
You said your employer is Dev Berlowski?
Yes?
Prepare to be boarded.
Shit. That's a good thing?
No, it is most definitely not a good thing.
So can I just kind of zoom out of there?
It's time to go. Roll plus cool.
Alright. So glad it's time to go. I was not doing well there. Roll plus cool, you said?
Yes.
4.
Oh, and I think this is where, go ahead and mark experience. This is where you get shot down, methinks. You make a run for it, and you make a run for it, and this is where the Raven gets shot down. Instead of a shuttle, the shuttle was deployed for you to be boarded, but a TIE escort was with it, and the TIEs chased you down. Shot you down, and you managed to escape the crash. You crashed in the home of some poor person, and they were not happy. But the Imperial Navy came by and collected their weapons, and you lost the shipment. So now, flash forward a little bit. How did Aura come to connect with the rest of the group? So for the listeners at home, there was a scene that we did kind of to introduce all of the characters, and we sadly did not get it on record. But there was a scene where kind of everybody met up at like a bar to be briefed by their rebel liaison, and you you connected with Ophelia there, as well as a couple of others that you know previously, like Jakk and B1. So, did you connect with any of them before that, or were you just kind of on your own until you kind of hooked up with the Rebel Alliance or cells?
Right. I was pretty much on my own, but I spent a lot of time with Ophelia. So I think I'm going to assume that I don't know what her story is, but I'm going to say that maybe she told me about a new job and I just sort of said, okay, and it's worth a shot. I've got nothing to lose here, so might as well join. And see if I could switch around my life.
All right, and then you joined the Rebels. And now we flash forward even more, and Hondo has pulled you aside, and he says, "Do you see where this is going?"
A little bit, just a little bit.
So, you are the famous origami. I have been just dying to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yes, of course. You see, there's this poor fool that is terrible at sabacc. His name is Dev Brulowski, and he may or may not have lost a significant number of his resources to Hondo, and so he mentioned that among those resources he gambled away were 4 crates of Imperial E11 blasters, and there is just nothing that Hondo loves more than blasters. So tell me, where are my blasters?
Do you work for Dev?
No. Dev is dead. I own everything he did.
Dev is dead?
Don't worry about it. It was a simple misunderstanding. He thought he won, he did not win, and the rest is history. So, I will ask you again. Where are my blasters?
Well, what's in it for me?
You do not die.
So if I don't tell you where the blasters are, I die. They're
Well,
not here.
in a roundabout way, yes. I will eventually extract the information from you. But it is all up to you how painful that process is. You see, if you tell me now, then we can be friends, and Hondo would just love to be friends with such an entrepreneur as yourself. So,
Right. Well, the guns are not here.
I see that. Would you happen to know where they are?
I might, but I might not.
I see. You lost them in the ship crash, didn't you?
No, maybe.
I see.
But I might know where they went.
He takes his arm and he puts it around your shoulder and he says, Ora, listen to me. I have dealt with many people, some very brash people. As a matter of fact, I have dealt with Jedi. Those were the good old days. But no need to dwell on the past, just like there is no need to dwell on the fact that you lost those blasters. So, I, Hondo, with my generosity, will help you retrieve the blasters that you have lost, and in return, I will not kill you, or any of your friends, or rat you out to the Empire. And he gives you a toothy grin and says, So, do we have a deal?
I sort of curse under my breath, and
He extends his hand for a handshake.
I sigh really sharply, and I shake his hand.
Fantastic! I love it when a plan comes together. And he gestures back to the group and says, Come. Let us talk to your friends about how you are going to help Hondo Get his blasters back. And he stops mid-sentence when he sees Laswell. Oh,
no.
so you work with her?
Does it matter?
He grins and he says, maybe, just maybe.